Ah.
Uh, uh,
Oh.
no, but no, we're all like, I don't get it. You're not supposed to get it. It doesn't make sense. So I have a couple video clips. This was the president's lawyer who I had a mild disagreement with Geraldo last night. I was on with Hannity, as many of you saw. The show last night did phenomenal ratings on Hannity, I'm sure. Everybody was tuning into Fox, watching the coverage of it. But we had a mild disagreement about the president's attorney, a guy by the name of Pat Cipollone, who I have to tell you, folks, I thought did a tremendous job. Now, I'm not going to say Geraldo's point last night. I'll tell you what it was in a second. It was totally more, Geraldo and I have had some really like knock him down, drag out moments.
Yeah, baby.
You think? But last time was a mild disagreement. Geraldo's point was that the president's attorney, Pat Cipollone, who I'm going to show you video of him in a minute, really needed to Clarence Darrow it, like get on the floor, the Senate floor during the impeachment trial of President Trump, which of course began yesterday, and just lay waste to the left. Talk about Hunter Biden, the Ukraine stuff. And I get it. A lot of you are probably like, wait, Dan, you're like Captain passionate about this stuff. That wasn't your point. That was Geraldo's point. And I disagree with you. Like, I don't get it. Like, why would Pat Cipollone not do that? Folks, I think there's a time for that in the closing argument. I just don't think the time for that was yesterday. Yesterday was a debate over the Senate rules that are going to govern the trial, which is going to happen over the next few days. Everybody, you have to be sure we understand this.
Good to go. Yeah.
Yes. This was not the time for the fire and brimstone. Hunter Biden did this, and which we know he did in Ukraine, and the Ukrainian collusion with the Clinton campaign. I don't think that was the time for this. The Democrats are trying to alter the rules to skew and influence the trial to favor their conspiracy theory. This was the time for the president's attorney to be passionate about it, which I thought Cipollone was. I thought he did a fine job. But I don't think this was the time. Now, the closing arguments, when we need to leave the audience, the Senate and the American people, with an impression of what really happened in Ukraine, and we know what happened in Ukraine. The Democrats worked with Ukrainians to collude and interfere in the election. We know that. That's a fact. That's the time for that. Here's Pat Cipollone, the president's attorney, who, again, I thought did a spectacular job. Spectacular. On the House floor, and I want to tell you what he's talking about before I play this clip. Showing you again what frauds the Democrats are. Frauds, liars. This is a total disgrace. The Democrats in the rules debate they had yesterday, that's what that was, over the rules that are going to govern this, want to bring on new witnesses. The problem is, the witnesses the Democrats, Schiff and his sleazeball Ren and Stimpy crew want to bring on, they already subpoenaed to appear during the House impeachment trial, follow me, and withdrew the subpoena because the person they subpoenaed, John Bolton's deputy national security advisor, that Adam Schiff subpoenaed, went to court and, ladies and gentlemen, was going to win on executive privilege. In other words, hey, I'm allowed to talk to the president as his deputy national security advisor and have private conversations. I don't have to tell you, a separate branch of Congress, about that. So here is Cipollone laying waste. Waste is laid to this argument and making Schiff look like the buffoon he is. This is a great job. Check this out.
They withdrew the subpoena, they evaded a decision, and they're asking you to become complicit in that evasion of the courts. It's ridiculous, and we should call it out for what it is. Obstruction for going to court? It's an act of patriotism to defend the constitutional rights of the president, because if they can do it to the president, they could do it to any of you, and they could do it to any American citizen, and that's wrong. And Lawrence Tribe, who's been advising them, I guess he didn't tell you that in the Clinton impeachment he said it's dangerous to suggest that invoking constitutional rights is impeachable. It's dangerous. And you know what? It is dangerous, Mr. Schiff. So what are we doing here?
I love that. Folks, listen, again, I was not going at Geraldo last night to be a contrarian. Geraldo and I agree on a lot. I mean, he's been great on Spygate. He knows the president's the subject of the biggest scandal in American history. But when we disagree, it's usually fiery. I promise you, I was not like, this was not some made-for-TV moment. I think this was the perfect argument during the rules debate. They want to manipulate the rules, the Democrats, rules to get new witnesses that the House Democrats already called as witnesses and then withdrew the subpoena because they knew they'd lose in court because the president invoked executive privilege, which is his constitutional, that's perfectly within his constitutional Article 2 authority.
Right.
So Pat Cipollone, what are we doing here? You idiots withdrew the subpoena. And now you're claiming, just to be clear, what in case it's still not gelling here, I know it is. I'm not in any way trying to talk down to the audience. Please don't take it the wrong way. Cipollone's saying, so let me get this straight. You're charging the president in an article of impeachment with obstructing justice because they won't produce a witness that you refuse to produce yourself because you withdrew the subpoena. No, we're all like, I don't get it. You're not supposed to get it. It doesn't make sense.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud and follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.